guys, dearyoongi here, and welcome back to my channel. It's time for another one of my videos where I give songs from a Western album to a K-pop artist. So in today's video, we will be giving songs from the Weeknd's new Dawn FM album to K-pop artists. So before we start, I do want to say these are just my opinions. I'm in no way trying to imply that the Weeknd should be giving away his music. I think his songs suit him so well. I really love his style and concept. These are just some artists that I would love to see cover these songs. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy it. Without further ado, let's get started. So with it being called Dawn FM, this album is kind of laid out as if you're listening to the radio, if that makes sense. So there are a few spoken word pieces within the album that I won't be giving to any artist. These are track 1, Dawn FM, track 6, A Tale by Quincy, track 12, Every Angel is Terrifying, and track 16, Phantom Regrets by Jim. If you would like to give these to an idol in the comments, then feel free to let me know who you would give these to. Now let's get into the main songs of the album. Okay, so let's start with track 2 after that first spoken word, which is called Gasoline.
I'm staring into the abyss, I'm looking at myself again.
This one I actually want to give to the artist Lauren. If you haven't heard of him, he's actually a more like K-rock based artist. And I'm giving this song to him because I want to see this song have a rock twist to it, because I think it would sound so good. And there's kind of like an emotion behind his voice that I feel would be such a unique addition to this song. He didn't debut too long ago. I'd say it was was it 2020 now? And I definitely think he'll be one to watch. I haven't seen too much of him in the mainstream media yet, but I really do think that he is an artist to watch in future, because there's something so unique about him that even though, yeah, we've seen rock acts before, but the way he presents himself, I know he would be able to just ace a song like this, not even a question. Track 3 is How Do I Make You Love Me?
How do I make you love me? How do I make you fall?
And I want to give this one to BTS's V. This is kind of similar to Gasoline in the sense that there's those lower notes in the verses, but then there's also some higher falsettos in the chorus. And yes, I know that Taehyung is known for having like a deeper low voice, but he can get up there with those notes as well. And even if he was to do it in his own way without using his head voice, I still think he'd be able to do it in like his own unique way, where it wouldn't necessarily sound like the original. So the fact he has the ability to do that would be so perfect for a song like this, because he'd be able to make those low notes sound so smooth and effortless, but then also go up into those higher notes and catch people off guard. Track 4, we have Take My Breath.
Take my breath and make it last forever.
And I want to give this one to Jisoo. So at the moment, at the time of me recording this audio, this is the lead single on the album. So I just wanted it to go to somebody who would do it justice, and I can't think of anybody better than Jisoo for this. Honestly, not to be extremely biased, but he is probably one of like my favorite Korean vocalists in general. And I know this sort of title gets thrown around a lot, like I think I've heard other people call another artist this, but for me personally, I think I'd say he's the closest thing to a Korean The Weeknd that we're gonna get. Because I do see some similarities in the tones of their voices, and if you haven't heard his voice before, then you really need to check it out and maybe try and compare the two and see if you get where I'm coming from. He's a very R&B influenced soloist, and his voice is just so good. So aside from the fact that this is the title track and I wanted it to go to somebody good, I just know for a fact that this would be such a good song for him as well. Track 5, we have Sacrifice.
I don't wanna sacrifice for your mind.
And this is going to Yuki of G-Idol. She's actually the only female I've got in this list because I wanted to include more of a mixture of male and female artists, but I think The Weeknd has such like a distinguishable style that I can just pin to so many male artists that I think would really suit them. So in a few of my future album videos, I'll definitely try and make sure I can get it a bit more varied. I hope you guys understand. I'm sorry, I am trying. But yeah, let's discuss giving this song to Yuki. So we all know that she has a really unique voice, and I feel like the tones in this song would really suit the uniqueness of her voice in the way that it already is, but also showing the extent of her abilities as well. There's those higher notes in the bridge that I'd love to see her try, because I feel like she'd be able to do them in such a good way that would, yes, be unique, but also still make sense for the song. I really like the fast, like choppy wording in the verses in this song, and it kind of reminds me of something that she could do in terms of it like suiting her personality as well, if that makes any sense, because they then contrast really well with like the longer words in the chorus. Oh, I just think it would sound really good. Track 6, of course, we've already discussed, is A Tale by Quincy. That's a spoken word, so let's skip to track 7. Track 7 is Out of Time.
Hey, I love you, girl, but I'm out of time.
And I want to give this one to SHINee's Taemin. This is probably one of the like higher toned songs on the album. That's what immediately jumped out at me. And this is probably one of my favorite aspects of Taemin's voice. Like, you know how he can just effortlessly sing in such a high tone. Perhaps that's why I adored Advice, his latest solo, so much. It's the kind of style that I just think suits him so well. I could fully picture Taemin releasing this song with like a similar concept to like the actual original song. I don't think you'd have to do much to it. This concept would just be perfect on him. It would suit him so much. Oh my god. And we all know he would ace it vocally. Next song we have is track 8, and that is Here We Go Again, which features Tyler, the Creator.
Here we go again.
I'm going to be giving this one to Baekhyun of EXO, but because it's a feature, oh yeah, he gets a feature as well, I want it to be featuring Taeyong of NCT. This is the first of, I think it's 2 features on the album. This song is quite a tough one to sing, but who do we know who has such a strong voice who can pretty much sing anything? Yeah, Baekhyun. I think obviously because EXO are quite big, a lot of people are familiar with them, but if you aren't specifically familiar with Baekhyun's voice, please check it out if you get a chance. And then listen to this song, because I think you will understand why I've given this song to him. And then of course there's Tyler's rap. The best person for this I think is Taeyong. It makes sense physically because of course they're under the same label and technically they've got Super M, but aside from that, the deeper tones of Tyler's rap here are very similar to the style in which Taeyong raps, like he's quite deep. So I think he'd just slot right into this song perfectly. He'd be able to just casually drop in and do a verse like this, because when I think of Taeyong's rap, I do think of like those deeper tones. Oh, also, it wouldn't be the first time that they've done a collab together, because they also did a song called Monroe. I think it was on Taeyong's SoundCloud. But yeah, that was proof already that we know they can work really well together. So yeah, I really like this one. It makes so much sense to me. Track 9, we have Best Friends.
You're my best friend now. You're my best friend now.
And this one I would like to give to Henry of Super Junior and The Soloist now. This song is really fun. That's the first word that came to mind when I heard it. There's like a lot of layers to it. There's a specific feel to Henry's voice that I can't quite describe, which is funny because I felt the same when I first listened to this song. Even though I can't necessarily describe it very well, I've always adored the tones of his voice and how it's sort of like R&B but also pop at the same time. And it's always so smooth. He manages to master an upbeat song with the smoothest vocals. So this sort of song and the notes in the chorus especially really remind me of him and the sort of thing that I can imagine him doing. Plus, if you listen to the lyrics as well, it also kind of reminds me of something that he'd write, if that makes sense. Like, I will forever be indebted to him for helping compose The Eve by EXO. I still go back and listen to his demo sometimes just to be like, thank you. Track 10, we have Is There Someone Else?
Is there someone else or not? 'Cause I wanna.
And I have given this one to Ki-hyun of Monster X. It is no secret that Ki-hyun is such a great vocalist, but I'm not sure if he always gets the credit he deserves. Like, before I got into Monster X, I didn't really hear people talking about it that much. But I think a song like this would definitely show off his voice and like another side of him as a soloist as well. Because I do think he has the potential to be so versatile. And this song in itself is versatile, if that makes sense. Like, it still has the upbeat rhythm that The Weeknd has tried to keep throughout this album to keep with like the 80s synth pop vibes. But the lyrics to this song are actually quite sad. We just read into them by themselves. So I can imagine a cover of this by somebody like Ki-hyun, who is such a strong vocalist. And I love when in a vocalist you can tell that they're feeling the words, and I feel like Ki-hyun is somebody that would. It would feel deep and heartfelt because you know he's into it. Track 11 is called Starry Eyes.
Let me be there. Let me be there for your heart.
And I want to give this one to Tail of Blackbee. I know I said this about G-Soul, and I feel like whenever I do these videos, I always say this, but I do mean it, honestly. Tail is probably one of my absolute favorite OG vocalists. Like, he's one of the first ones I ever remember when I got into K-pop thinking, oh my god, he blows my mind. He's just on like this level that I feel is like unreachable. He is that talented. And only a few other K-pop artists are kind of there for me as well. So he would be right at home on an album such as this one, and specifically this song. I think it would really suit the style of his voice that he already has, and I mean, he could pretty much nail this in the original way that it is. He wouldn't even need to put his own spin on it, but because he's that talented, he could if he wanted to. So yeah, he deserves this song on this album. There was no way I was going to make this video without giving a song to Tail. Track 12, we have another one of those spoken words that I won't be giving to anyone, so let's move on to track 13. Track 13 is called Don't Break My Heart.
Don't break my heart.
And we're actually going to do something a little bit different here. This isn't one of the duets on the album, but I am going to make it a duet. I want it to be a duet between Bangchan and Felix of Stray Kids. So the reason that I've done this is because there are regular vocal parts in this song which could go to Bangchan, no problem. And then there's also sections that are kind of like deeper, and it sounds like a duet between two people. So I thought the deeper parts could go to Felix because they really remind me of his voice. So rather than trying to find an artist who could do both, I thought why not give it to two artists who I know could fit those parts even better, if that makes sense. So I could imagine their own take on this being really cool. If you get a chance to listen to this song, imagine how a duet would work, and I think you'll see what I mean. It's not that hard to imagine, to be honest, because I think it would make a lot of sense. It's no secret that Bangchan has amazing vocals, so he could slide right into this album, and then with the deep tones of Felix's voice able to balance out the other part of the song, it would be chef's kiss. Track 14 is actually a duet this time, and that is I Heard You're Married featuring Lil Wayne.
Ooh, I heard you're married, girl. And I knew that this was too.
This song is going to Ha Sung-woo and Hansei of Victon. This one's actually a collab this time. So not only does it make physical sense again because they're literally in the same group, never mind the same label, but their voices would be so perfect for this song. Sung-woo is such a natural perfect fit for these styles of vocals because he can basically hit the higher notes and then he can come down from it so naturally, which is perfect for a song like this which does that. And then it's a really fun concept that I don't think he's tried yet, so it would be another side of him. And then of course there's the rap by Lil Wayne. And we all know how Lil Wayne has this style to his rap sometimes. And oh my god, I didn't realize, but that is pretty much the same style as Hansei's rap. Like, it's very, very similar. If you listen to this song and then listen to Hansei rap, you'll completely see what I mean. I hope I'm not butchering the pronunciation of his name, by the way. Because again, I've not actually heard him say it before, so I'm saying Hansei. But I could be adding accents there where accents aren't supposed to be. So I'm sorry. But yeah, his rap kind of has that tone that people often associate with the likes of G-Dragon. You know, those sorts of K-pop idols. But in the West, I'd associate that style with none other than Lil Wayne. I'm not gonna lie, this is problematic of me. I'm like a huge Lil Wayne fan. So whenever I hear Hansei's voice now, it does remind me of him in a good way. So I think it'd be perfect on this song. And number 15, we have Less Than Zero.
'Cause I can't get it out of my head.
Which I want to give to SHINee's Own You. So I know I've already given a song to a SHINee member on this video, and I do hate duplicating the same groups in these album videos, but can't even say I'm sorry because I love them so much. I'm very biased. And this is the final song on the album before the last spoken word, so I wanted it to be really good. And I'm not gonna lie, I struggled assigning an artist to this song at first because the style the Weeknd uses here doesn't really remind me of any idols from initial listen, but then I realized I was probably thinking about it too literally as who could cover this song perfectly, rather than who could put their own twist on it, forgetting that the artist I choose can do whatever they want with the song. So when I ignored like the tempo and styling of the song and focused more on who I think could ace the lyrics, I thought, yes, Own You came to mind straight away. There's such a depth to his voice that is so amazing, and it kind of made me imagine like a more somber, maybe even ballad style version of this song, which I know is completely different to the original, but oh my god, how amazing would that be? Okay guys, and that was it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching if you got this far. I'm sorry if some of the descriptions of these songs were short and others were longer. I'm trying to squeeze these down into videos that aren't too long, so I hope you enjoyed it either way. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, who you would give any of these songs to if you have any different opinions. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here and have not yet subscribed, please hit that little subscribe button down below, and if you turn on the notification bell, that should let you be the first to hear whenever I upload. As always, my social medias will also be on screen. You should see my Twitter and my Instagram if you'd like to give them a follow. I always follow back fellow K-pop stans, so let's be friends. And I will see you next time. Bye guys!